Hi, everyone. If you turn to page 286 in your social studies book, today is day one that we will be reading about Canada. So 286, physical geography. If you live there, you live in Winnipeg, Manitoba, in central Canada. Your hiking club is trying to decide where to go on a trip this summer. Since you live on the plains, some people want to visit the rugged Rocky Mountains in the west. Others want to travel north to Hudson Bay to see polar bears and other wildlife. Others would rather hike in the east near the Great Lakes and Niagara Falls. Which place will you choose for this year's trip? Building background. A long international boundary separates Canada and the United States. With the exception of the St. Lawrence River and the Great Lakes, there's no actual physical boundary between the two countries. Rivers, lakes, prairies, and mountain ranges cross the border. Physical features. Did you know that Canada is the second largest country in the world? Russia is the only country in the world that's larger than Canada. The United States is the third largest country in the world and shares many physical features with Canada. As you look at the map on the following page, see if you can find the physical features that the United States and Canada share. You may notice that mountains along the Pacific coast and the Rocky Mountains extend north into western Canada from the western United States. Broad plains stretch across the interiors of both countries. In the east, the two countries share a natural border formed by the St. Lawrence River, an important international waterway. The St. Lawrence links the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean. The United States and Canada also share a spectacular physical feature called Niagara Falls. The falls are located on the Niagara River between the province of Ontario and New York State. Created by the waters of the Niagara River, the falls flow between two of the Great Lakes, Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. The falls here plunge an average of 162 feet, which is 50 meters, down a huge ledge. That is higher than many 15-story buildings. Canada is a region of rocky uplands, lakes, and swamps called the Canadian Shield. See on the map how this feature occurs around the Hudson Bay? The shield covers about half the country. Farther north, Canada stretches all the way up to the Arctic Ocean. The land here is covered with ice year-round. Ellesmere Island is very rugged with snow-covered mountains and jagged coastlines. Very few people live this far north. The wildlife, such as the polar bear and the Arctic wolf, have adapted to this harsh environment. 288. Climate. Canada's location greatly influences the country's climate. Canada is located far from the equator at much higher latitudes than the United States. This more northerly location gives Canada cool to freezing temperatures year-round. The farther north you go into Canada, the colder it gets. The coldest areas of Canada are located to the Arctic Circle. Much of central and northern Canada has a subarctic climate. The far north has tundra and ice-capped climates. About half of Canada lies in these extremely cold climates. The central and eastern parts of southern Canada have a much different climate. It's humid and relatively mild. However, the mildest area of Canada is along the coast of British Columbia. This location on the Pacific coast brings rainy winters and mild temperatures. Inland areas of southern Canada are colder and drier. Some resources. Canada is incredibly rich in natural resources such as fish, minerals, and forest. Canada's Atlantic and Pacific coastal waters are among the world's richest fishing areas. Off the Atlantic coast lies a large fishing ground near Newfoundland and Labrador called the Grand Banks. Here, cold waters from the Labrador Sea meet the warm waters of the Gulf Stream. These conditions are ideal for the growth of tiny organisms or plankton that fish like to eat. As a result, large schools of fish gather at the Grand Banks. However, recent fishing of this region has left many fishers in Canada unemployed. Minerals are also valuable resources in Canada. The Canadian Shield contains many mineral deposits. Canada is a main source of the world's nickel, zinc, and uranium. If you guys can silent read the rest of 288 and 289, then we will move on in our